Well, we've been through a rough winter, no question about that, and the cold might not be done yet, but one business is kicking into gear as we crawl out of winter. Meteorologist Sam Kantrow explains why this weather is perfect for maple syrup makers.
It has been a very difficult winter with very cold temperatures, and it's not great for the economy. But as the weather starts to warm up, and very slowly, people are frustrated, although there are some businesses that are going to thrive in weather like this.
Maple syrup. It's delicious, it's sticky, and the kids love it. We are right now living our lives in the most perfect syrup tapping weather.
The best weather to get the most flow from the trees are cool nights, preferably about 20 degrees low at temperature at night, with temperatures going up into the low 40s during the day. That really creates movement in the tree upwards during the daylight hours. So 40 and 20 are sort of the best numbers for maple sugaring.
So thanks to the cold weather this winter, the season has been delayed by a full 4 weeks. But now we have the temperatures we need. It all starts with the sap, which is extracted from the trees by drilling a hole and hammering special taps into them. The sap is clear. It has no taste. So it needs to be boiled very carefully.
This is a special pan that has 3 different alleyways, and what happens is the sap will flow through an open gate valve into the next alleyway, down this way, into the third one. We're dripping raw sap into this end of the pan, and this end over here, we're pouring out product that is almost finished maple syrup.
The season typically only lasts about a month, and the warmer spring comes very fast.
As soon as the low temperature goes above 32 degrees for 1 or 2 days in a row, the sap gets less sweet, trees start to, their buds begin to swell, and that's the end of maple sugaring season.
And with a cooler than average forecast expected into the middle of April, it looks like the season will be sweet for quite a bit longer.
All right, here to talk a little bit more about maple syrup is Storm Team 8's meteorologist Sam Kantrow. You're the expert on this topic?
I, in fact, am the maple syrup expert. What can I say? No, you know what's funny? I've always been a maple syrup freak my whole life, and I really wanted to tap a tree in my own backyard. And maybe I will do that next year, but now it's a little bit too late for you to go ahead and do that.
Well, we know how to after watching your story here. So, Sam, does the flavor change because of the colder weather?
The flavor actually can change based on what time of the year that it is or how late or early in the season it is.
Okay.
And believe it or not, the color that you see with natural maple syrup will change based on what time of the season that it is, too. So, maple syrup's a really interesting thing, and I grew up eating the fake stuff. And it's funny, it's almost like real maple syrup becomes an acquired taste as a result. It tastes really good, it's really sweet.
But it's certainly different than the Aunt Jemima that you find in the
so much different tasting.
store.
It's because the real maple syrup is not as thick as the other stuff is because it doesn't have as much sugar in it. But it is, I mean, it's still sugar, obviously. But in the scheme of things, it's way better for you than the fake stuff. It's not.
Sometimes they make the candies out of the maple.
It's delicious. Yeah, the place that I went to was really cool. That's Brooksville Park. It's in Hamden. And I've been to the park a bunch of times in the summertime, and they have this little thing called a Sugar Shack that's over there. And I've always wanted to get in there because I know that they have maple syrup, but it's always locked when it's, you know, too warm for maple syrup. So it was really cool to be able to go out there and actually see what they do. It's so easy. I mean, you can do it. You can do it at home, honestly.
You just have to have the gear, right?
That's it. And believe it or not, online, on like every single website in the world, I mean, we're talking Amazon and eBay and all those sites, you can get kits for like 20 bucks. And all you need is a drill in the kit, and you can actually do it yourself at home.
How fun is that if you have little kids or something you want to do it?
There are a couple of things you have to be careful for, though, if you do it. First of all, we're now already past the time that you can do it. It's a little bit too late in the season, but you can get it and you can do it again. You're supposed to tap the tree sometime around February. But the time that maple syrup flows is when it's above freezing during the day and below freezing at night. Now, the last couple of weeks that have been way cold, and everybody's upset about it, and I get it, I understand.
It's been a long winter, Sam. It's been
a
long
winter, but for maple syrup production, it's actually really good because they want, like the guy said before, he said 40-20, that's what you need. Okay. So we've had temperatures that have been way cooler than average, but it's been below freezing at night and it's been above freezing during the day. So that's exactly what you need to have that happen. Now, as far as the kits are concerned, all you got to do is buy a kit. It's like $20. You can get a bucket out of it. And believe it or not, one tree in a season can actually make as much as an entire gallon's worth of syrup.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of
pancakes.
That's
all you need, right?
That's it. That's all you need. And so all you have to do is you drill into the tree. It has to obviously be a maple tree or a sugar maple tree. So you have to make sure that you identify it as the right tree to tap. And drilling the correct depth hole will not damage or do anything bad to the tree. And you literally just take a hammer and this little tap and you go knock it into the tree. Yep. And you attach a bucket onto it, and usually the buckets will have a cover because if it rains, it's going to fill up the bucket.
Right.
And
you're making this sound so simple, Sam.
No, it really is. The only complicated thing with doing it is, and this is what they told me, every single gallon of actual syrup takes like 45 gallons of sap. So you can get upwards of a gallon of sap every single day, but you got to put it somewhere. The other problem is you can't put it into your house. Imagine if you put 20 gallons of water inside a pot and you just boiled it and boiled it and boiled it, it would create so much steam in your house that the guys over there said to me, you put this into your kitchen and you have wallpaper in your kitchen and you won't have wallpaper in your kitchen
anymore. Oh, it would come right off the walls. I get it. So you got to have the proper, what is it, a sugar shack they call it?
Well, no, what they say you can do is they sell these things that are like turkey deep fryers that people put outside that are made out of propane and stuff, and that's what you can use. You can use one of those and just bring it outside, or you could do it on top of a grill. Some grills have a little stove thing on the side of it, so you can do it through that. And I mean, it takes a little bit of time to obviously boil it down, but once you do, I mean, it is so good.
Great. We know how to make our own maple syrup at home now, Sam. And I got to ask you, we're into April now. Are we done with the snow? What do you think?
I pause. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's hope that we're done with the snow.
Well, we're all hoping.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really hard to get snow this late in the season. Is it impossible? No. We can get snow even later than that. It's funny. We were checking some of the dates, and April 15th, you can get. That's the latest date we got snow along the shoreline. It wasn't much. It was 0.1 inches of snow. But inland, and I know you don't want to hear this, we've actually gotten snow as late as May with some snow that mixed in with rain. The thing is,
not enough for you, Sam.
It is really, really difficult to go and do that. One more thing about maple syrup. Got to go back to that topic real fast. Maple syrup has a bunch of different colors that you can get, and the earlier in the season that the maple syrup is, usually the longer you need to boil it down, the thinner it is.
Okay.
So the longer you boil something that has a lot of sugar in it, the darker it'll become. So caramel is sugar that's got other things added to it that gets really dark. So the darker the maple syrup, typically that's how early it is in the season, because it ends up being a little bit thinner early in the season.
Wow, thank you for all of the maple syrup advice, Sam.
I am a maple
That's
syrup
fantastic.
expert. What can I say?
Very nice having you here. All right.